comprender cómo la tecnología ayuda a evolucionar nuestros equipos de trabajo y rediseñar la estructura de nuestra organización es crucial para el desarrollo de nuestra empresa. El ingeniero Cliff Cole, director de BDC en the PENTA Building Group, nos presenta su conferencia Estrategias to Increase Alignment of Technology Across the Organization, en la que nos muestra las estrategias para aprovechar la tecnología al máximo. Bienvenido, ingeniero, al Congreso CITI. Welcome, engineer.
Good morning, or good afternoon, depending where you join us from. I'm honored to be presenting here at the Congress today. My name is Clifton Cole, and I'm with the PENTA Building Group. We are a general contractor located in Las Vegas, Nevada. Today, I'll be talking about strategies to increase alignment of technology across your organization. So let me tell you a little bit more about the PENTA Building Group. PENTA was founded in 2000. We have 4 office locations. Our main office is here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We have 2 locations in Southern California, and we have 1 location in Phoenix, Arizona. PENTA was named an ENR Top 100 CMAR contractor. Also, we were awarded the AGC and the Nevada Contractors Association Member Company of the Year. We currently have 280 plus employees, and we have a dedicated information technology and virtual design and construction department. So let's play a little game called 2 Truths and a Lie. I will read out the 3 line items here, and I want you to guess which one is a lie. So first, my first job out of high school was a cook. Second, I've been skydiving twice in my life. And third, I fought in 2 amateur boxing matches. Can you guess which one is the lie? If you chose I've been skydiving twice, you are correct. All right, a little bit more about myself. I am currently Director of Virtual Design and Construction at the PENTA Building Group. I've been with PENTA for 18 years. So yes, that means I started when I was 6. I've been 14 years in the virtual design and construction BIM/role, and I have 12 years of software implementation experience. So let me tell you more about what virtual design and construction here is at PENTA Building Group. So our virtual design and construction department is made up of, our primary focus is building information modeling. In addition to that, we also do site logistics. We also do reality capture. We also do construction technology implementation and support. In addition, we also do visualization and multimedia. So I want to show you some examples of how we use building information modeling here at PENTA. So first, as you can see on the screen, is an example of a site logistics plan. And primarily we use site logistics at the beginning of the job, whether it's for pursuit or during the pre-construction phase or even the construction phase, depending on how we want to communicate our planning approach to our clients. And as you can see here, we like to incorporate other aspects of site logistics planning, much like safety and sequencing. So this right here allows the owner to understand our planning approach on how we plan to keep pedestrians safe, how we're going to work on their active campuses, whether it's a school or a hospital facility or in a casino or hotel. In addition to doing site logistics planning, we also do sequences. So as you'll see on the next couple of slides, we go through a progression of sequence so we can show the client our approach to scheduling and planning the jobs out. And as you can see, as we flip through the project phases, we're able to show the client a snapshot in time on where we predict the projects to be. This is a great visualization tool to help communicate the client on our plan and approach on managing schedule. In addition to that, we usually create 3D details on very complicated areas of the project that need to be coordinated with different systems, or that the design is incomplete, and we want them to be able to fill in the gaps to be able to communicate to the design team our thought process on how we want to approach building this. Example here is of a foundation where we're working with masonry walls and our plumbing, grease interceptors, and the coordination between the different trades is important as we go throughout the project to make sure that we minimize any field issues and we're able to effectively build projects. This information is not just shared with our design partners, it's also shared with our trade partners as well. It really helps us to understand how we want to approach these projects and foresee issues before they become issues. In addition to 3D details, also do a lot of model coordination. So we work closely with our trade partners to be able to bring in the different systems and scopes of work. As you can see here, this is a entry corridor into one of our projects, which is a baseball clubhouse. And you have your mechanical ducts, your plumbing, mechanical piping, fire protection, lighting, structural steel, stairs, miscellaneous steel, all coming together. Typically, we would have done this on a 2D paper with a light table to try to figure out where the issues are at or how we're going to sequence the installation. With the advancement of technology today, we utilize 3D models for all of this coordination efforts. As you can see here, it's a lot of work to be able to get this to fit in and make it clean, but it also allows us to be able to pre-plan. That allows our teams to fabricate their systems off-site and bring them on-site, which allows for easy installation, safer installation. It reduces any issues in the field, it enhances our schedule, and also minimizes any field-related change orders. We also are able to do model-based quantity extraction. So an example here is from a project from a medical office building that we did in Las Vegas. We were able to take the structural steel model from our design partners and be able to extract the quantities from the model and give this to our structural steel contractor so they can get a head start on procurement of steel. This is a tremendous value to our project team, especially when we're tight on project schedules. It allows us to communicate scope of work and make sure that we have accurate bids from our trade partners. In-house, we're also able to produce photorealistic renderings. So an example here is of a casino hotel resort that we are able to show the client our vision on what we interpret the building to be. Now, we don't replace, we aren't designers, we work in collaborative with our design team, but what this allows us to do is to be able to help communicate what we interpret as design intent to the design partners and to our clients to make sure that we have the intent captured accurately so that we can accurately price and budget the projects, especially in the early conceptual phase during pre-construction. Example here is of a minor league baseball stadium here locally in Las Vegas. This allows us to be able to showcase a rendering of the facility so that we can market our projects to our internal clients, our external clients. It also gets the community leaders and partners excited about a project of this magnitude in our community to make sure that we get their buy-in as we are building the project and get excitement in the community. Another capability we have of our reality capture is laser scanning. Laser scanning is a process which allows us to capture existing conditions. And the scanner allows us to, it creates what it's called point clouds. And the point clouds is able to capture millions and millions of points that we're able to integrate with our model to where, as you can see in this example, we overlaid the point cloud with the model of the existing facility, which was a shell, and that we ultimately turned into a theater at one of the local casinos here in Las Vegas, to be able to see what still need to stay and what still need to be removed, and how the design aligned up with the existing conditions. Again, the benefit of this is allows us to first and foremost visualize the space with virtual space with the reality, identify issues before we get onto the site, work with our design teams and our client to make sure that what we are interpreting is what they are seeing and what their vision is. And then obviously for our job is to bring that vision to light. So these type of tools are great for communicating amongst the internal team and being proactive with identifying issues ahead of time, while also being more efficient in the field with installation. Also, we utilize drones on our projects, on some of our projects. We have currently 5 certified drone pilots in-house. And what you're seeing in this image is a Google Earth overlay on top of, as a base, with our drone site map laid on top of that. And then we were to take the contract drawings and superimpose it on top of the drone site map. And then we took our conceptual model, in this case, this is a new school, and overlaid on top of the 2D drawings on this existing site. And this existing site has to be built up, so we wanted to see how the building laid out on the site. This visual allowed us to be able to understand where utility tie-ins were at, how the playgrounds for the kids would lay out, where the new existing roads need to line up to with the old existing roads in the past. And so this type of visualization really helps kind of start to get the vision that the clients and design teams are working toward. This is another example where we had an existing empty lot where we were putting in a new medical office building. And again, the process is the same. We took a Google map, cropped that out, flew our drone, dropped the drone site map on top of the Google map, took a drawing from the design team, overlaid it to make sure that the site plan fit into the footprint of the existing site. And then we overlaid the schematic conceptual building on top of that site to see how it laid out. And as you can see around the edges, existing roads and homes. So we want to make sure that we minimize disruption to the community. So this tool allows us to, one, show how the building lays out, allows us to plan for any interruptions to the existing sites, existing roads, communicate that to public entities, inspectors, and community leaders. So jumping into the topic of today, organizational structure, and how do we better integrate teams to increase alignment of technology across the organization? So that got me thinking, what do we mean by organizational structure? Is there more than one? Which one is the most common? And how do we advance an organizational structure? So I have a little video here that kind of outlines what a business organizational structure looks like and how are they different.
Every organization has an org chart, but did you know there are lots of different types of org charts? Let's take a look at the 7.5 most common. A functional org chart has common departments that are organized by separating each area and managing them independent of others. A product and geographical org chart divide the company by a specific product line or geography and are operated as if they were separate companies. A hierarchical org chart has a distinct chain of vertical command with definite structure, ranks, and tends to have high levels of bureaucracy. A flat org chart displays a small number of levels and a broad span of management at each level. The goal is to give each employee equal footing. With holacracy, employees are organized around work, projects, and objectives, rather than departments. Decisions are made from anywhere by anyone. In a matrix org chart, teams are created by bringing people together from different areas of the business to work on a specific project. Employees will report to the project leader and their department manager. Tribes and squads is a subset of the matrix structure. Tribes are a collection of groups, called squads, that work in a related area with one common leader. Each squad has one focus and all the resources necessary to accomplish their goal.
So what does all that mean? As you can see here, Kevin Hart and I are both confused about what that means. So let's continue to break down the rest of the presentation title to better understand which type of organizational structure is best for technology alignment. Here at PENTA, we have multiple kind of different organizational structures depending on the type of products or initiatives the company has. But primarily, we are in a hierarchy org chart structure. Does anybody in the audience have a different organizational structure other than hierarchy? So, how do we integrate our teams to better align with technology? So that got me thinking, what makes a great team? Well, I am a big basketball fan. Is anybody else here a big basketball fan? So growing up, I used to watch the Chicago Bulls, and they had one of the best teams of all time. And they had one of the best records. They also had a guy named Michael Jordan. Has anybody heard of Michael Jordan? Greatest basketball player of all time, depending on who you talk to. So I just wanted to show you a little video. If you ever watched the Bulls in the early 90s, you will, early to the late 90s, you will recognize this. So with a basketball team, you have multiple different roles and responsibilities. So as you can see here, you have people from the field, from IT, from VDC. They all play an important role. So who loves that intro? It always gets me excited and fired up. So every team wants to be successful. In this case, with the Chicago Bulls, they wanted to be a championship team, and they wanted to be the greatest championship team of all time. So what do great teams need to be successful and be considered championship teams, they need trust. And Phil Jackson was the coach of the Chicago Bulls during that championship team run. And Phil said, good teams become great when the members trust each other to surrender the me before we. I think that's a great quote, and it's fitting to understand how we align, how do we advance our teams and develop organizational structures to align to have successful technology. So I want to go through some steps on how we here at PENTA have aligned our structure and developed a tremendous team, and so that we can align on technology to have successful implementations. So technology alignment means that your organization is actively using technology to achieve measurable company objectives, like improving finances or being competitive in the market. So I have 7 steps for a technology alignment. So what are your company's strategic objectives? Do you know that? Are you working together with different departments? Are you aligned on the goals that allow you to achieve those objectives? Ask yourself these questions when you're going through and looking at software and technology implementation. So as we talked about, step 1, identifying key drivers. By far the most important step. Adopting new technology takes buy-in from senior management, and it takes buy-in from executive management. The first step is to identify the key business imperative that's driving technology. In other words, you need to determine what business drivers require modern technology to function optimally. At PENTA, we have a corporate technology committee that focuses on strategic alignment. Our group consists of the IT director, our HR director, our CFO, our process and training director, and of course, myself, VDC director. As VDC, I speak for our operations and our pre-construction groups. And we are all part of an executive leadership team as well. So we take our thoughts and processes back to that executive leadership group and get aligned on what technology should we look at, what processes are we trying to improve, where do we want to see efficiencies, where do we want to improve, where we want to increase innovation. So for example, we are in the midst of integrating a new platform called Autodesk Construction Cloud. And Autodesk Construction Cloud is made up of a lot of different applications. We were primarily focused on Autodesk Build. So Autodesk Build is a project management platform that is collaborative, it's web-based, it promotes improvement and efficiencies. So we weren't initially looking at switching to Autodesk Build from our current project management solution, which is Viewpoint and Vista. But it started out as identifying a certain need. That need was for better collaboration and better mobility, so we can get access to information, get information to our access to our team members quickly and easily. And it started with how do we increase our current workflows? So we identified replacing our current daily report solution, and that what we've done in Build. We're looking at improving our quality and control and quality assurance and control workflows. And we're looking at advancing our digital transformation journey by looking at how we can integrate more data analytics into our company so we can make better decisions. Step 2, you have to establish a culture of innovation. We had to move away from the missing conceptions of that IT silos belong to just the IT department. We needed our whole company to bring ideas to the table, support new ideas, be innovative. right? And we consider the definition of innovation as bringing new processes and improvements to our company. Since our senior management will be choosing technology based on business goals, and employees and customers will be the end users of that technology, it's imperative that we establish this culture of innovation throughout our company. Our president and our executive management committee encourages and advocates for technology. Our company has a culture of innovation and finding the best way to improve our business. Innovation is recognized as a competitive advantage for us and is also rewarding. Autodesk Construction Cloud, the idea was brought to the table from our VDC group. We were already using the technology from Autodesk for our building information modeling. And we felt that it was a great opportunity to be able to integrate the two platforms of project management and building information modeling together to make a more streamlined process. So step 3, we have to assess your IT maturity. Working toward technology alignment is about continuous improvement and long-term strategic planning. You need to improve your recent review. You need to review your recent IT situation. 3 main areas to consider when assessing your IT maturity is budget, assets, and your organizational culture. At PENTA, our corporate technology committee touches every piece of technology in the company. This includes evaluation, budgeting, maintenance, training, execution, implementation, and execution. So why do we go with Autodesk Construction Cloud? Well, our technology committee evaluated build for over a year before starting implementation. We compared the features of build to our current tech stack and other features, other software solutions out there in the industry. And we felt that for where we were at as a company, Autodesk Build was the right solution. Step 4, we isolate any blockers of innovation. This includes locating and isolating anything that can get in the way of innovation. You'll want to consider the 3 things we talked about before: budget, assets, and business processes. Common blockers of innovation include a lack of in-house experience, expertise, outdated and compatible systems, and budgetary constraints. To drive a culture of change, you need to familiar yourself with what currently works and what doesn't work. Then you need to create a list of problems that you are hoping to choose the right solutions for and prioritize those solutions and those initiatives. At PENTA, we're no different than any other company when it comes to innovation blockers. Who has experience with a superintendent who does not want to embrace technology? Who has heard this statement before? This is how we've always done it. Why are we changing technology? Why are we changing the process? Excel is easy to use, right? Everybody's probably heard one of these at one point in time or another. So one key to isolating and removing blockers of innovation is showing the value proposition. And we always say the term WIIFM. What's in it for me? Why are we making this change? With Autodesk Construction Cloud, we need to show the value and improvement with changing to build over our current solution. Get buy-in from our senior leadership, the biggest influencers, and the end users. Solving a business problem, such as needing a new daily report solution, digitizing our quality and assurance workflows, and advancing our BIM processes. Once we are able to show them that business solution and the innovation and improvement that we have with the new software, it makes your implementation that much easier. Step 5, prioritizing your IT initiatives. Every organization has limited resources. Technology alignment isn't something you can expect to achieve overnight. It's important that you prioritize carefully to avoid overburdening your team or worse, risking unplanned outages. Here at PENTA, how do we prioritize our IT initiatives? What was the biggest impact based on business strategy and company objectives? Well, with answering the question, why Autodesk Construction Cloud and Autodesk Build, we digitized our current processes. We improved collaboration with external stakeholders, and we consolidated our current PM and document management solutions from 4 to 2. We have a list of technology projects and prioritize our focus. We also have internal employees, subject matter experts, and external 3D party support companies, consultants, to help us with this implementation. It takes a team to get aligned to have a successful technology implementation. Step 6, evaluate your implementation options. Now comes the time to choose the technology solution that will achieve alignment. When evaluating your options, determine how well they would work with your existing systems. Make sure they don't require any costly or hard to implement dependencies or other radical changes that could really disrupt your organization. Autodesk Construction Cloud, we've established a 12-step process that helps us evaluate and determine the right technology solution for our company. We sit down together and we go through each of those items and we debate. Are we able to achieve that step? Do we have the right resources? Who's responsible for it? How long is it going to take? We go through that list together. Once you get to the end, ideally, you should have a clear picture on what's the best approach for implementing that technology. Once again, it takes a team. And lastly, step 7, the final stage, is to draw up a roadmap, action plan of the steps, deliverables, deadlines, responsibilities that are aligned with your organizational goals and priorities. Your action plan should also include contingencies, be open to modifications, and there will always be new things to learn once implementation begins. Our action plan is a hands-on approach to technology execution that includes process development and training strategies. Again, it takes a team. So, Phil Jackson, coach of the Chicago Bulls, said the strength of the team is each individual member. The strength of each member is the team. No software technology implementation, no innovation can be done in a silo by one person. It takes a team. So when it comes to your organizational structure, my opinion, it doesn't matter which organizational structure you have, as long as you have a team of dedicated, knowledgeable, hardworking people that are aligned to a common goal with a vision on how to improve the business and the knowledge to implement technology. There's no one size that fits all. Peter Drucker said, culture eats strategy for breakfast. It is about the people, right? We in PENTA, in our VDC department specifically, we use a term called people, process, technology, in that order. If you follow that methodology, you will be successful in any implementation. When you talk about integrating teams, everybody in the team has an important role. You must build trust and be aligned on the common values and goals, the business strategy, and the company objectives. And the alignment of technology, using IT to achieve measurable company objectives. Follow the 7 steps to business technology alignment. Your technology needs to align to your business. You need teams that work together, understand the company's strategic objectives, a blend of groups of people that work as well as a team to identify business needs and implement technology. So hopefully you found this presentation informative and helpful and exciting. I thank you for your time, and I'll open the floor to any questions.
Thank you, engineer. So we have some questions from the audience, and the first question is, the construction sequence of Sierra.com project was visual interesting. Before the post-processing in rendering software, was it coming from a 4D management software?
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
The construction sequence of Sierra.com project was visual interesting. Before the post-processing in a rendering software, was it coming from a 4D management software?
Oh, great question. The visual that you saw did not come from a specific 4D software. We do own saw 3D 4D software. What we did in that particular instance is we took high resolution photos and we aligned it with our schedule by tying the dates to it. So we did it in a more of a manual process because we really wanted to show more of the sequence than the schedule. In the early phases of the pre-con, as in that instance, the schedule was fluctuating, so we didn't really want to take the effort of tying the actual schedule to the model at that moment. We do that more primarily during the construction phase, but early in the pre-construction phase, we just tie specific visuals to specific milestones in the schedule to communicate our approach to the client.
Thank you. And so another question is, are you using the in-house laser scan SW, or do you prefer the third-party solution?
So during our the term digital transformation, which we started probably 12 to 14 years ago, initially we started with a third-party consultant for the laser scanning. We worked with some great professionals that we were able to partner with and learn from on how to utilize scanning effectively. And then once we had the opportunity to grow our department and bring that skill set in-house, that's what we did. So right now, currently, we have 2 people that are knowledgeable in how the actual scanning works, being out in the field, the proper approach to where to put the scanners at, how to capture the best information. And then we have 2 people in the office that are able to register that information and incorporate that into our models.
Perfect. And the next question is, do you have a Part 107 certified UAS operator at PENTA, or the flights are planned by an outside partner?
Yeah, good. Another great question. Again, we took the same approach. Initially, we went out to a third-party professional that was licensed. We partnered with them and to be able to see how they perform the operation and how they were structured. And then currently today, we have 5 people in our company that are Part 107 licensed. We just recently had 2 more in the last couple of weeks, and now we're up to 7 people that are licensed in our house. And we have full documentation, structure, processes, checklists, everything that we need to do to make sure that we are compliant with the federal regulations.
Perfect. And finally, the last question is about the step 2. How you can possibly spread this culture when every department but 2 are interested to innovate themselves?
Yeah, that's while in the video we mentioned a lot of successes, we definitely had a lot of obstacles that we had to overcome. I've been with the company, as I mentioned, for almost 18 years now. So I grew up with the company, and I've established a lot of great relationships. And through those relationships, we have worked together and had some of the difficult conversations. And through those difficult conversations, we were able to align our focus and priorities with other departments' focus and priorities to allow that trust to grow into bonds. So therefore, it made it easier when we were having discussions on which software we should implement and why we should implement it. We were able to communicate I'm able to communicate now to the other people and why this particular software is valuable for them. You know, as I mentioned, what's in it for them? If you sell them on the value from their perspective, not necessarily your perspective, it makes that conversation a lot easier. And in addition to that, you have to be able to show them what the actual value is. So you tell them what's in it for them, and then show them the value, and that makes it easier to align, which then ultimately allows you to start to innovate and implement those technologies.
So those were all the questions from the audience. Thank you, and thanks for presenting as well today, and even for joining us. We hope you have enjoyed today's presentation, and we also hope to see you in the future edition of this Congress.
I appreciate the opportunity to speak here at Congress, and I look forward to speaking again hopefully in the future.